Cybertron is a world that just can't seem to avoid conflict. Whether it be a civil war or planet-destroying gods, Cybertron is always under attack, and that is no different today, as the galactic tyrant Frieza has decided that he wants to claim the metallic planet for his own. So, could Frieza invade Cybertron? This video shall be utilizing the original G1 Transformers cast and putting them up against the Frieza Force in its prime, with Frieza himself being as strong as when he fought Goku on Namek. So, the majority of Frieza's army comprises of low-class warriors. Now, while we aren't given an exact number on how many soldiers Frieza has in his arsenal, we do know that they compose around half of his army, with the other half being the Saiyans. And it is directly stated that the Saiyans only had a population in the low thousands. This does seem consistent, as Frieza only managed to get around 1,000 soldiers together when he invaded Earth in Resurrection F. Now, as for their battle power, the Frieza soldiers are mostly featless, as they are treated more so as death fodder for the main cast. Now, to be fair, they aren't completely insignificant. A group of them did think they could take on Namekians with power levels of around 1,000. With this being consistent, as the two Frieza soldiers that fought Gohan and Krillin were stated to be on par with Raditz and the Cybermen. However, Gohan and Krillin with power levels of 1,500, the same as Raditz, one-shot them without any effort, so I find this to be a bit questionable. Regardless, they probably should at least scale to Piccolo at the start of Z, who obliterated the moon with a casual ki blast, with its explosion yielding around 10 to the 34 joules of energy. Frieza also has quite a few elites up his sleeves that far exceed the level of his average soldier, such as his right-hand men Dodoria and Zarbon, with battle powers of 22,000 and 23,000 respectively, putting them both above the likes of Saiyan Arc Vegeta, who had a battle power of 18,000 at the time. Vegeta, prior to fighting Goku, obliterated the planet Arya with 2 fingers, with it being calculated to require enough force to destroy dwarf stars, so Zarbon Dodoria should scale to this, if not above it. Even beyond Zarbon Dodoria though is the Ginyu Force. Even the rather reckless fighter Recoome still possessed enough power to stomp Vegeta, who had just defeated transformed Zarbon with a battle power of 30,000. For those who are wondering, Jace, Berter, and Recoome are stated to have power levels in the range of 40 to 50,000, with Captain Ginyu being at 120,000, being nearly 7 times stronger than Saiyan Arc Vegeta. However, Frieza himself is in an entirely different league. Even in his first form, he possesses enough power to frighten Vegeta, who had obtained a power level of 250,000, over twice that of Captain Ginyu, with Frieza's own power being in the range of 530,000 in his first form, and 120 million in his final form. Even without transforming though, Frieza with just one finger violently destroyed Planet Vegeta on some Death Star energy, with the planet exploding so violently it would have had enough force to destroy smaller stars. Even just multiplying that power by around 200 times to get to his final form, Frieza would casually be in that star level range by just lifting a finger. There are other ways to get Frieza higher, but they aren't as concrete. In the anime-only Garlic Jr. arc, Garlic Jr. recreates his dead zone, intending to destroy the entire lookout. The lookout seemingly houses a realm that contains a bunch of stars, so using this would imply that Garlic Jr. would be in that multi-solar system level range. But you could just say that the lookout simply has a portal leading to this realm, rather than the realm literally being inside the lookout, similar to the hyperbolic time chamber. However, it is an argument you could make. You could also potentially argue that Frieza could destroy the universe, as stated by the narrator and North Kai, but I have a lot of problems with this line of scaling, which I explain in this video here. Now, I believe speed is probably the most interesting category for Frieza's army, because there are simply just a lot of different metas you can use. Now, bare minimum, Frieza is light speed. That much is just true. His attacks are literally described as being light in El Manga Legendario. But being more realistic, we know that Piccolo at the start of Z hit the moon at relativistic speeds, around 50% the speed of light to be exact. So just going off of that, Frieza's normal soldiers would already be approaching the speed of light, and Frieza's more elite warriors would be dozens to hundreds of times the speed of light, because it is just stated that power levels correlate with speed in addition to power. And obviously, this would upscale even more when applied to Frieza, as Frieza is around 300,000 times faster than Stardust Series Piccolo. So he should at least be capable of moving a couple 100,000 times the speed of light. However, there is one more argument you can make. Goku, while traveling to Namek in a spaceship, manages to dodge several meteors rushing right past him. And we know for a fact that Namek is located outside the North Galaxy, so even with just that, the ship would have to be moving hundreds of thousands to possibly millions of times the speed of light. And even if you don't think that Goku scales to this, King Kai can keep track of Goku's journey through space, but he can't keep track of Super Saiyan Goku fighting Frieza. So no matter what, I think Frieza probably does scale to the speed of Goku's ship, at least in his full power state, so he should be reaching the millions of times the speed of light range, at least. The original G1 cast of Transformers consists of over 100 Autobots and Decepticons, each of which being surprisingly powerful. In the season finale of Season 2, Megatron builds a cannon capable of launching the moon into orbit, which has been calced to require dwarf star levels of energy, and both Starscream and Soundwave could effortlessly tank shots from this weapon. Now, considering Starscream is the same guy who got jumped by literal alligators, this may not seem too consistent, but you would be surprised. Soundwave taking a planet's explosion, Megatron surviving a blast that knocks Cybertron out of orbit, and Galvatron literally obliterating an entire planet, all have calcs putting the G1 cast in the planetary to small star level range. Not to mention, this would just be the strength of the average soldier, as several Cybertronians have the ability to merge together, becoming several times stronger than their individual counterparts. Not to mention, guys like Galvatron can just straight up one-shot Starscream. However, the biggest attribute the G1 cast has is speed. Both Starscream and Astro Train have both been capable of traveling from Earth to Cybertron in a matter of minutes, with Cybertron being located in an entirely separate galaxy. Both of these feats have calcs putting them upwards of 900 billion times the speed of light. And before I hear some invincible downplayers make the argument of, well, actually, that only applies to their travel speed, lol. We know that Astro Train can keep track of and tag Cosmos, who rivals him in terms of speed. We have also seen guys like Omega Supreme and Devastator catch Starscream and Astro Train mid-flight. We have also seen that Decepticon blasters can outpace Astro Train's travel speed, and most of the main cast have reacted to or dodged their blaster fire. So their combat speed should scale to their travel speeds. It should also be noted that since Transformers are robots and not organic beings, they cannot tire by normal means as they run on Energon. While this doesn't mean they have infinite stamina, it should be noted that they almost never seem to run low on energy, with some guys like Optimus still being capable of fighting when he's nothing more than dismembered limbs. Optimus even has a trump card up his sleeves, one capable of annihilating planet-eating gods, the Matrix of Leadership. This artifact, made from the essence of Primus himself, contains the collective wisdom of the Primes and is capable of erasing people on a spiritual level, and has wiped out a hate plague that has spread throughout the entire galaxy. So, with both army stats out on the table, what exactly is the fate of Cybertron? Well, one big glaring issue that anyone not named Frieza has to get around is the sheer speed gap that is present. Even being super generous to Frieza's generals, giving them speed close to Goku's ship, at best they would be around 6,000 times slower than any Autobot Decepticon. And it's not like they're even that much stronger than them to begin with. They have similar calc results as Vegeta's Arlia feat, and there are a lot of people like Devastator, Omega Supreme, Optimus, and Megatron that would upscale from this feat by many times over. So what is the Ginyu Force gonna do against 100 or so guys that are not much weaker than them, while also being thousands of times faster? They just can't beat that. So Frieza would have to step in here. Now, Frieza just is more powerful than them. But once again, the massive speed gap still remains a big problem for him. Think about it like this. If Frieza thought that the Saiyans teaming up against him would result in him possibly losing, which is supported by the Saiyans defeating the original Super Saiyan Yamoshi by overwhelming him with numbers and wearing him down, then what is Frieza gonna do against 100 or so guys that are way stronger than the average Saiyan, while also being thousands to millions of times faster? It just seems like a far worse matchup for him. Because of that, I actually think Frieza would lose here if he doesn't transform. However, things do change if he does transform. Full power Frieza is roughly 1000 times faster than Ginyu fight Goku going by their power levels. So if Goku scales to his ship's speed, he would be around 200 billion times the speed of light. Still slower than the G1 cast, but fast enough to the point where he could reasonably start landing hits. And by that point, any hit he lands would be fatal. However, the problem is that Frieza cannot maintain his full power state for long. After around 5 minutes, his power dropped to the point where even base Goku could react to him. So if Optimus and Co can hold out long enough, it's possible they could win by wearing him down and attacking him when he's weakened. And considering their numbers advantage, their insane stamina, and a speed gap still being present, I actually think they could accomplish this. But that isn't even necessary, as they still have the Matrix of Leadership. While Frieza has resisted the Hakai in Dragon Ball Super, which has been shown to affect things on a spiritual level, this is a Frieza who has obtained a literal higher dimension of power compared to his Namek self, so we have no reason to believe he would have this kind of resistance in Z. So the Matrix of Leadership would actually work on Frieza, and considering the nearly 5 times speed gap, Optimus would be more than capable of landing the attack, eradicating Frieza from existence. So no, Frieza actually cannot invade Cybertron. Cybertron's defenses are unfortunately far too fast for his army, and possess just the right tools to rid the universe of its emperor. The winner is Cybertron. For anyone who has watched until the end, I would like to say thank you. I know I may not be the most entertaining power scaler, but I try my best, and it's good to know I have an awesome fan base that enjoys my content. If you have any video suggestions or have any questions for me, feel free to leave a comment below. I will see you guys in the next upload. Later!